Greetings, my brothers and sisters, my Israelite brothers and sisters. I'm online. I know what I need to do. I'm gonna fix something real quick on my phone, and I hope that we're able to have a productive conversation while I'm moving here. I got everything set, and we're going to chat. Notice I call this sincere, but sincerely wrong. And I'm going to wait for a few more others to get into the room before I start this discussion, because it's a very serious discussion. Sincere, but sincerely wrong. And I want to help you with this subject and with this topic. So I see a few more others have come into the room, and I'm just going to wait a few minutes to get a few more in here, and we're going to have this discussion. Sincere, but sincerely wrong. I think it's a very good subject to have. I'm driving someplace. It's going to take about 15 minutes to get there, and I want to have this conversation. Sincere, but sincerely wrong. And first of all, those that subscribe, I want to thank you for subscribing. Those that tune in, I want to thank you for tuning in. I do not take your time lightly. I do appreciate the emails that I get from you. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the likes. Thank you very much. Let's get into this subject. Sincere, but sincerely wrong. Now, this is going to help you deal with loved ones who are sincere about what they are doing, yet they are sincerely wrong. How do you deal with that person? How do you handle a person that is sincere about what they are doing, but are sincerely wrong? And that's a tough subject. That's a tough subject. And I'm going to use Christmas. And we can use a lot of different scenarios, but I'm going to use Christmas. I believe, and I was having a discussion with my teacher one day. I always look at, I admire Pastor Bowie and his wealth of knowledge, and sometimes I just chop it, we just chop it, what I mean by chop it, we just chat and talk. And of course, when I always call him, I got to have my Bible. And he said something to me that I never thought about. And this is why this subject is important. Sincere, but sincerely wrong. He told me, he said, Brother Johnson, Pastor Johnson, he says, I believe that people are sincere in what they're doing. They just don't know that they're wrong. Hi, girl, how you doing? I got you. How you doing? So he told me, he says, I believe people are very sincere in what they're doing. They just don't know that it's wrong. So he says, what you should do is bring up issues that people think that they know and show them where it's wrong. And we use Christmas as an example, and this is why I'm using that example with you. So a lot of people are sincere about recognizing the birth of the Messiah. They're very sincere about that. Within the heart of their mind, they feel that what they're doing is recognizing the fact that the Messiah came and is here, and he exists, and he came to save them, okay? And so therefore, when a birthday comes up, they are sincere about that. Although they're sincerely wrong, they don't understand the underlying nuances and the underlying overtones of Christmas and who brought it in. Because a lot of people don't know. Really. I'm just telling you, a lot of people really do not know. And a lot of people just don't know that they are sincerely wrong. They are so sincere. Okay, let's use the day of worship. Let's use the day of worship. A lot of people dedicated. A lot of people wholly committed. Hell, rain, sleet, or snow, they're going to wake up on a Sunday morning and go to church because they feel that it's the right thing to do. And if you don't know that you are sincerely wrong, you become sincere in your devotion and your commitment, but you're wrong. You follow me what I'm saying? So the question is, how do you deal with a person who is sincere yet sincerely wrong? How do you deal with it? That's the whole thing. How do you deal with a person like that? They're sincere, but they're sincerely wrong. And I would tell you, you need to deal with it very, very cautiously. Very cautiously. You need to deal with that type of person. And here's why. Because within the heart of their mind, a lot of people love the Most High. They do. They love the Most High. I mean, I'm talking about with heart, mind, and soul. They love the Almighty. Heart, mind, and soul. I mean, they really do. And I believe that. I believe that. And so they don't know that what they're doing is wrong, especially when they have been doing something that they have been taught to do. Okay? And so those individuals believe that they are 110% correct in everything that they do. So how do you handle that person? Be very meticulous, be very cautious, be very gracious, be very considerate, and you must have a lot of patience. You have to have a lot of patience. Because if you don't have patience, and you cannot be frustrated, you cannot deal with a person who is sincere about what they do, but yet they are sincerely wrong. Because they don't see that they're wrong. They don't see it. Because they're so sincere and so dedicated and so committed to what they're doing, they really don't see it. They just don't see it. So you now need to be wise as a serpent and humble as a dove. It takes the wise to win souls. So you must deal with this person in a very respectful, considerate manner. Okay? You really have to. And I have to remind myself of that as well. I really do. Because when we come into the truth and we find out that certain aspects of religion has been a lie, such as Christmas and Easter, and we want people to see and you want to show them, remember, a lot of people are very sincere in their commitment and dedication to what they're doing, but although sincerely wrong. Pastor Bowie brought something up to me one day, and I was up in Riverdale, and I was in his office, and he was on his way out, and I had came in, and so he told me, he said, you know, why don't you sit in my office and just sit in my chair, and here's my notes, kind of go through anything you want to and stuff like that. And I thanked him and stuff like that. And so I said, you know, Pastor Bowie, it's like you got good notes here. It's like somebody ought to be giving these. You can give them to a preacher and he can just get himself out. And so he stopped, realized, let me educate this brother, meaning me. And he said, let me just share something with him. And he basically shared the fact, hey, you know, some people just really don't know. And although you want to just whip them into the truth, you can't. So he told me, he said, I'm going to ask you a question that somebody asked him when he was older. And he said, I'm going to ask you this question, Pastor Johnson. He said, do you want to be a driver of oxen, or do you want to be a leader of sheep? And he said, don't answer it. I want you to think about it. And I said, wait a minute, say that again. He said, do you want to be a driver of oxen? Oxen, oh, you know, the ox, you want to be a person that is a driver of oxen, meaning a person that goes out there and they got a stick and they just driving the ox right down the street? Or do you want to be a leader of sheep? And I thought about it for a second and I said, wow, sounds like I would want to be a leader of sheep. He says, well, either of them is okay. Either one of them is okay. With the truth, you can drive oxen or you can lead sheep. The choice can be yours as a leader, as a teacher. So you have to decide what type of teacher you want to be. Because some cases, you need people to drive the oxen. And most cases, you need people to lead the sheep. So he told Peter, Peter, lovest thou me? Peter said, yea, Lord. He asked him again, Peter, lovest thou me? He said, yea, Lord. And then he said, feed my sheep. Then he asked him again, Peter, lovest thou me? Peter, after several times getting frustrated, he said, yea, Lord, why do you keep asking me that? He said, feed my sheep. So how do you feed sheep who are sincere in what they are doing, but they are sincerely wrong? How do you do it? You got to have patience, wisdom. You got to be graceful. You have to be right and stick with the facts. Read the Bible, read it again, teach them and teach them again, and keep teaching them and keep showing them. Sit down with patience, read it over and over with humility and grace until they get it. That's how you become a leader of sheep. Because for the most part, people are very sincere in the heart of their mind that they're doing the right thing, although they are sincerely wrong. I wanted to leave that with you today. I hope that you got it. I hope that you get it. I hope that you understand. And that's why I titled this Sincere but Sincerely Wrong. Peace, and we'll talk soon.